Manchester United taking on Liverpool. United fans know it by now, don't they? This is their worst start to a Premier League season ever. They sit 12th going into this clash. A lot of people have questioned their transfer policy and who's making the decisions. We don't hear very often from Ed Woodward, but this is what he had to say. There's a myth that we have non-football people making football decisions. I think that this is insulting to the brilliant people who work on the football side in this club. Player recommendations and decisions are worked on by this department and by the first team manager and his staff, not by senior management.
He's picked a weekend to come out fighting, hasn't he?
Yeah.
When they're playing Liverpool, and they're probably the most, what would you say, the odds are probably the most against them that they have been in a long, long time. Look, there might be some sense in what he's saying, but indirectly he's affecting the football decisions. Because I'll give you an example. When Jose Mourinho wanted Perisic from Inter Milan, because he wanted a wide player to give him a bit of balance on that side, he kiboshed it. So he kiboshed it because either A, we thought he was too old, and B, he thought the money was just a little bit too much. So effectively, he is still making, him and the Glazers are still making decisions. They may not be pinpointing the players, but ultimately it's like their decision if that player comes or not.
He's basically thrown them all under the bus, isn't he? It's like, well, it's not my fault. I don't pick them, they do. And they're doing such a great job that over the last 4 or 5 years, they've slowly and steadily got worse and worse and worse to the point of where they are now. So how is this group brilliant? Please tell me.
We are forgetting one thing, that he picks the most important person at the football club.
Yeah.
That is the manager.
Exactly.
And he selects the manager, unless that's going to some other group of people that's not doing.
Who can he pass the buck on that?
Yeah.
I'll be honest, everything I've heard come out from Manchester United over recent weeks, I feel has been kind of flimsy and patronising to a loyal fan base. The truth is, regardless of whether what Woodward says here makes sense or not, who is it aimed at? And more to the point, never mind discussing what the media is saying and what holes they're poking in your strategy. Tell us what your strategy is. Tell us what your plan is. Tell us how your recruitment policy feeds into your long-term plan. Don't just say, well, what they're reporting is false, because you're not offering any kind of evidence that this club is moving in the right direction.
You look very smart, Shaq. You look like you're going to make a political speech.
You look strange.
He just did.
You look strange, Shaq.
Don, do you have any sympathy for Ed Woodward?
I don't really. I mean, listen, his statement has tried to be a strong one, as Craig said, in a weekend where they need to come out fighting. But at the same time, the boys are spot on. You know, Ed Woodward was the man that's employed the managers that he's then sacked. So it's a real strange one in terms of what is the desired effect. Is it effect in the fans to try and get them on side? Is it trying to give the team a jolt on the pitch? It's all just a bit sporadic and all a bit just as though Ed Woodward, and especially Ollie after his comments after the Newcastle game, all just seems a little bit of waffle, and nothing even makes any sense that's coming out of United at the moment.
Don, what do you make of the lack of criticism we're hearing about Ole Gunnar Solskjaer from certain people in the UK? I saw Paul Ince this morning saying, no, he needs 2 or 3 more transfer windows to really build this team. And you're thinking, you're Manchester United, you don't have that time. There's no way a Barcelona, Real Madrid would be keeping Ole Gunnar Solskjaer for 2 years because they believe in the big plan.
Yeah, and that's the critical matter. Would Ollie have got any other job in the Premier League after the job he done when he took Cardiff down and the job he done at Mulder? I don't think any other team in the Premier League would have took him on. I understand the reasons and the sentiment why they took him on, but he shouldn't have been given the full-time job in the first place. Yes, he had a good little run when he started, but United should have been smart enough to see the job that he was doing, which was decent, you know, on reflection in the short term, but knowing, you know, there's people like Max Allegri out of work who's come out in the English press over the last couple of days saying he's learning English. And while you've got world-class managers out there that can get United close to a title in a couple of years, I feel as though Ollie's struggling. I understand his methods. He's trying to go a little bit young, which is fine. It's commendable, and you can see that. But I question actually what the experienced players given to these young players. I look across that Man United team. It looks like David De Gea's quiet, in my opinion. Harry Maguire and Lindelof quiet. Juan Mata's quiet. You know, right through the senior pros, they're a very quiet bunch, and it's almost like the youngsters are the ones that are performing at the moment, and that cannot be healthy for the club the size of Man United.
Well, thank you very much for watching ESPN on YouTube. For more sports highlights and analysis, be sure to download the ESPN app. And for live streaming, premium content, and let's not forget as well, ESPN FC 7 days a week. Subscribe to ESPN Plus.